Want revenge? Somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros. Left pocket got pound. Somebody gon' want revenge. Somebody might want it now. Throw the ball with the right hand, catch with the left, touchdown. Step back, let me get some room.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as these folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Green Bay Packers and the Indianapolis Colts. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Check out! Right 40! That's right, baby. They don't want it.
On first down, Locke. The completion good. This is Eric Ebron. An early statement on the game's first play. 18 yards and a first down.
There's so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes bring the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. An opening there on that first down run as he gets this forward for about 8 or 9. That looks to be 8 officially, so 2nd and 2. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field of the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
Now Luck defers to Mack. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 7 yards there and a first down. A couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit.
Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? Let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? 5 or more yards each time. That's what you're looking for in setting a tone and getting your offensive line going.
Good sign on the opening drive. And he'll lay out and pull it in. What a diving catch there. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Every coach we ever talk to says to his team before the game, quick start, guys. Let's get out of the gate fast. How about that? They took his lesson to heart, didn't they?
They did exactly that. A nice diving catch here on the games. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. And a short return will be stopped inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. He's coming off a 3-interception performance last week, so certainly not how we wanted to start here.
Not at all, but this is where a quarterback gets tested. This is where we find out what he has underneath that jersey. Because he had a bad game last week. Can he shake off a bad start to this one and start to perform at the level he expects?
Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And he is going to be... Cold behind the line of scrimmage.
It's a loss of a yard. Brings up second.
Right now. 25-yard line.
On 2nd and 11 now. Rodgers. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Timmy Jernigan coming right up the gut. Gets in there for a loss of 9. And Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
Forced out to his left. Now he'll go deep down the middle. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
I think that interception happened for two reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. 16 yards to pick up there. The Colts have a first down. Well, starting drive number 2 off on the right foot. Completion for the first down. Drive 1 they had to be pretty frustrating because they moved the football. They just didn't get any points out of it.
But warm-up QB2, let's bring in the backup. I mean, my goodness, you take them downfield and you don't score points. You know I'm being totally facetious here, right? I'm just kidding. Nice first drive. Rarely do teams score on every single drive in a game, but they like what they did there. They just hope they can pay it off this time with some points.
They'll run here with Mack. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards. It's no secret that this is a team that's built on passing, but as you always tell me, you have to throw the run in there every now and then to keep that pass sharp.
Yeah, you have to, because otherwise, if they never have to worry about running the football, it is just a controlled...
And he's got his tight end. That's Ebron, and it's a Colt touchdown. Eric Ebron, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Crosby connects on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 to score as they start 1st and 10. A little bit of space there for the first down run, as that's going to get them about 5 yards. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Here's Rodgers to throw. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Geronimo Allison the target there, and it's 3rd and 5.
There are a good number of coaches that any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
Throwing is Rodgers, and able to find Graham, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 2 former All-Pros connecting. Rodgers finding his tight end, Graham. Packer first down. Now a first down carry by Jones. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Rodgers now to throw. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. And he'll be brought down by the Colts. Jabal Sheard able to record his 5th sack of the season. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
12 yards on the return that time. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Luck on first down. Rolling to his left. And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes quarter number 1. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. And once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Luck. He'll rifle this one deep right side. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Kevin King with a pick. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. He was looking for Paul Richardson there. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn into first downs and hopefully points.
They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Jamal Adams coming up from his safety spot to make the play.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Being chased out left. And his pass incomplete.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Throwing now is Rodgers. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket.
It will take over first and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. He's got a man, complete. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Marlon Mack, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Colts strike quickly here for 6 points. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line.
At their own 35-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Here's a quick hitch route and the throw complete. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
To punt on 4th down, here's Rigoberto Sanchez. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And taken right at the 35. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Jones. And they go backwards here. Losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time
into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here. 2 in the 1st half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning it into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing because the reactions of those guys back on the back 7, phenomenal.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Out of the gun, Locke. He completes this one to Mack. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On 3rd down, a run by Mack. And he's going to come up a few yards short of the 1st. They get him to the ground at the 37. He gets a good chunk of yards there, 8 all told, but they're still looking at a 4th down. The Packers. Going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the 1st half. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And a fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Packer drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a 1st half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the 2nd.
And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Malik Hooker. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
You're trailing, you're trying to get points late in half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with. Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board. Luck now to throw. They'll run the screen with Mack. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked.
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Alfred Morris, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Colts, they add on to their advantage. Extra point up and good by Crosby. And that makes the score 21-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at his 4. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line.
At their own 32-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line.
Their own 27-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Luck now, 9 of 15 throwing the ball, 60%, and it's 1st and 10. Now Luck, eluding the pressure right. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it a second down. They'll fake it. Now Luck. Now he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. That's 3 touchdown passes now for Andrew Luck. And the Colts, they add on to their advantage. A diving catch for the score. He laid out. That was special.
And you know the first thing they're going to check, right? Did he complete the process of the catch? All the way through, all the way to the ground. Ball doesn't hit the ground without control in his hands. All of that, yes. Check the box, touchdown.
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line.
Let's go. At their own 26-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Here's Rodgers. On the move to his left. That's caught by Geronimo Allison. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A very solid gain of 27.
It's hard to believe when we look at the numbers that our statistician Marvin has given us about Aaron Rodgers today, that he's been held to this few. That's not normal for him.
And that explains the scoreboard, doesn't it?
It really does. As he goes, so goes his team, and he is just absolutely scintillating, but it's still not over for him yet.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
From the 25 on 2nd down, Rodgers. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And the return goes up to his own 17-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Brought down around the 16 or 17. Had a nice move but couldn't free much space. Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12.
Brings up 3rd and 12.
Check out. 5, 674. Rip right. 12.
Play action. It's locked. And he's got Snead. That one for Indianapolis, resulting in 15 yards and a fresh set of downs. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
On 2nd down, it's Hines. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Here's Hines. And this time the yards won't come so easy, as they'll in fact tackle him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be 2nd and 12. Off of play action. Luck. He's going to go deep for Funchess. And that one falls incomplete. A 50-50 ball. A little dangerous. Could have been picked. Now it's 3rd down. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Back to throw. Luck. Caught by Snead over the middle. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 38-yard line. Luck now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. They'll run on first down with Marlon Mack. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. On 2nd down now, it's Hines. Touchdown, Indianapolis! Nyheim Hines, his 4th touchdown on the year as his guys continue to pour it on.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this 3rd quarter. Back now in Indianapolis. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one. Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for 2nd down. From the 30-yard 2nd down, Rodgers. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. Justin Houston in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And he's going to go down again. Jabal Sheard in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
That's a 49-yard punt, 8 though on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When you go to the backup, let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Dean Lowry coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Kyler Fackrell leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. Now Jones. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 15. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back.
Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. That's sacked by the DN, Danico Autry.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Here's J.K. Scott now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Just 21 yards on the punt there. And the Colts are set up well as they take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. They're all through up in Detroit. That one has really opened up. The Vikings have just scored again. A win would be just their 2nd of the year if they could hold on. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll run it here. This is their fullback getting the carry. And trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. So this one winds up an Indianapolis victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra